are here and talking about the big titan, the man himself, the Great War veteran, Fortress Maximus. Now, this is a really fun character, a really awesome character I've been having a lot of fun with because he is super versatile as far as how you want to build a deck. You can go all orange, you can go all blue, you can go mixed, which is what you guys are going to be seeing here today, and I've been having an insane amount of fun really playing the character. He has an awesome ability on both ends, and it's something that I really got to enjoy, like with Metroplex, that really focus on around getting these multiple battle icons and getting to benefit from them. I think it is really fun. So we're going to be talking about my deck list updated, and you guys are going to be seeing some gameplay later on in the week of this deck, but if you guys do want to see a sneak peek of it, the deck did change. I did play it on the live stream not too long ago. I think it was like last week or a week and a half ago. So if you guys do want to watch gameplay of it, you guys can go back and watch that. There's a few different games that you guys get to see during that stream night, so if you guys do want to go and check it out. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is him in this mode, which is the alt mode, the big city itself, and is going to be 8 attack, 15 health, and 2 defense. Now, the 15 health is a lower number. I'm going to explain why here in just a second, especially since the other Titans, we have 35 health and 30 health. However, this guy in total, I think, ends up having 25 health in the list that you guys are going to see from me. So we've gone down 5 every level. However, this guy gets a lot more power, obviously, with like that 8 attack is really nice. Now, it does say when this defends and you flip at least a white and a blue battle icon, you get to do 1 damage to the attacker, and this begins with Cerebros, City Commander, on him in head mode, which is going to be Cerebros. Now, if you guys don't know, this does come in every single box, so if you guys do want to pick up this character, you do have to buy a box of Wave 5, or you guys can visit my website at poweredbyprimus.com, go over to the shop, and you guys will be able to find it. Now, all of these body mode characters, these head modes, all of this good stuff with Titan Masters, they do get to start with that ability on at all times. So we are always going to have access to Bold 1, Tough 1 while you're in this mode, or in our other mode, which is going to be our body mode, we'll talk about here in just a second. And then when the character is KO'd, right, then we do get to bring out the little guy, who's also, I mean, a normal sized guy, right, who is a body mode, who's going to be able to bring in another head, or a Titan Master from outside or whatever else. So we're going to be able to get this ability, this stuff, and then when he gets KO'd, then boom, we get to, like, a Russian nesting doll all of these characters into play, which is super fun. But let's talk about this side. When it comes to the big man, he's going to be ranged on both modes, which is going to be relevant in the list. He's going to be a Titan, not really relevant in this list. There is like heavy-handed, which gives you really cool stuff for Titans. Get Bolt 4. Could be a really cool card in the list. I haven't fully explored it yet because there's a couple other cards I prefer that do the same thing, really, in the list. He does have 8 attack, 15 health, 2 again, so we get to keep the same stats across the board, which is awesome. When this attacks and you at least flip an orange and a black battle icon, you get to do 2 damage to each enemy, and then you get to flip them into alt mode after the battle. So really cool. We get to flip to this mode. We get to punch something. Hopefully we flip that orange-black, meaning we're in for at least 9, and then we get to do 2 damage to everything on our opponent's side. We just get to photon bomb our opponent, and then we get to flip into this mode. So now we get access to this defense ability, which is super awesome, meaning that we want to have a white, blue, black, and orange deck, which is really awesome. And again, we get access to both of these perks. However, it really bugs me because the art for this side is actually smaller than this side, so you actually can't line up the character to where the image makes sense, because you guys can see the greens here. Oh, it's triggering, but I get it. Obviously, this character is so big, this character is smaller. It's gonna be really hard to line up that art. So I do get it. I get it. And then when we do get to get Cerebros out, we're going to have ranged. I am going to be running Flame Out with this mode. We're going to be talking about that here in just a few minutes. That does give us access to Bold 2. We have 6, 8, and 1. So I was talking about the life totals. We have 15 plus this 8 brings us to, what is that, 23. And then this guy has 22, bringing us to 25 health. So not bad, not great. However, this guy really punches, so it's definitely a faster match when it comes to playing this character. He does have Bold 1, Tough 1 himself, so this is a total of Bold 3, which is really nice. And when this battles, and you flip at least a white, orange, blue, and black, which is what we're trying to do already, you may play an upgrade from your scrap pile onto the character. And it is immediate once you do that, so as before damage is calculated, all that really good stuff, so you end up going in like a bigger weapon or an armor, all of that will be calculated as well, which is really nice. And then obviously once we go down, we bring out the little dude who just has Bolt 2 and pray that you get the last little hit. Now, when you do get to the box and you open this up, This does come with the Focus 2 guy, which I think is okay. However, this guy is 1 star less for the Flame Out, which allows us to run a stratagem in this list, you guys will see, which does open the door for some cool cards that I do think are pretty necessary. So we're going to dive into all of that. So let's go ahead and get into the deck list. I'm also going to zoom in so you guys can get a little bit better view. Now, the stratagem that we're going to be talking about is going to be Heroic Spotlight. So if your starting team was only Autobots, obviously all 3 of our characters are only Autobots, then you get 2 additional stars of blue cards, which is really, really cool because, oh man, none of this is shuffled. This is going to be really awkward. So I'm going to show you these 2, and then I'm going to have to skip to us, all of our cards being in order. All right, so the 2 cards that we're going to be running as far as star cards go is going to be Heroic Resolve. Now, Heroic Resolve is a double blue battle icon card, which is really nice for this character. We had a little bit of extra defense, and it also says when one of your Autobots would take enough attack damage to be KO'd, instead you go down to 1 remaining health, which is really, really nice. It essentially stops you from being KO'd for that single attack. However, if your opponent is attacking you twice, then you just kind of have to do what you have to do. You're going to go down, all that other good stuff, because this is only for that battle, if I'm pretty sure. Yep. So you would reveal it if you were to be KO'd. So if you happen to go take a second attack, obviously you can't reveal this anymore, and that does go away. So hopefully this will go on that last opponent swing, so then you get to reset with your character. It's really nice. So obviously all of our characters being able to survive at 1 gives them a little more durability, which I think is really nice. Plus, it is a double blue battle icon card. And since we're talking about actions, the next 3 coming in here is going to be Precision Fire. Now, Precision Fire is a really good card in the list. First off, it is an orange and a black battle icon card, which is what we want to see when it comes to attacking. And then also with Cerebros coming out, that orange and black is going to be really nice. It does say choose a mode and deal 1 damage to each character in that mode. So if you happen to be in body mode and you go ahead and call alt or bot mode, you're going to ping a lot of people and not hit yourself. And even if you do go for the situation where you yourself are in alt mode, only dealing 1 damage to yourself and possibly dealing 3 to 4 to your opponent is going to be pretty nice of a card. So we could be going with that. Next card coming as a 3 of is going to be Fight for Position. Now, Fight for Position is a really good card as well in the list. First off, orange and black for all the same reasons we previously talked about, but it also says one of your characters gets bold 2 until end of turn. So we get to start off with the bold 1 with Emissary, and then this gives us bold 2. We're getting in for that bold 3, making sure we really flip the orange and the black battle icon, because it's very, very important that when you attack in body mode that you do get to flip back to alt mode. If not, you're going to be taking a lot of damage still and not being able to deal as much damage to your opponent, which is kind of brutal. You really need to make sure that you are getting all of that extra damage whenever you can. Now, that extra coming in are going to be a big one, and it is going to be Master of Metallicato. Now, this card I keep going back and forth with, not really knowing if I like it in there, don't like it in there. It always seems to do really well. However, I'm just still not a fan because its pips don't really work out for us. So first off, it is an orange, a battle icon. If you're attacking with a specialist, obviously we're not going to fill that void. It is a black battle icon. If you are attacking, you do get the pierce with a ranged character, which we do get the range. And then it is a blue if you are a melee character, again, not going to benefit us. However, this card always counts as those colors. So when you do get to attack, you may not get the icon's effects in combat. However, it does count as an orange-black or an orange-black-blue, and then all you need now is the white to be able to get Emissary's ability, which is really, really nice. Not to mention, since we're running such a wide range of battle icons in the deck, it does say choose one of your characters when it attacks this turn, and you flip battle cards. It gets +1 attack for each different battle icon color that you flip. So again, if we were to flip one of these after playing it, it would automatically give us a +3 attack. And then if we happen to flip a green battle icon card or a white battle icon card, then boom, we're looking at getting +5 attack, which is really, really nice. And then again, it does a lot of really good stuff when it does come to counting towards those abilities, which is really, really nice. The next 2 coming in here is going to be Hold the Line. Hold the Line is a really good card that I'm starting to find play a lot more to replace a lot of armors. It is a white and a green battle icon card, being really nice to help us get the white for us to be able to get the defensive perk with the alt mode or with Cerebros. And then green obviously allowing us to fish it after combat, which is really nice. It says when one of your characters defends, you need to repair 1 damage from that defender, and then it can't take more damage than the amount of stars the attacker has. So if your attacker is coming at you with 5 stars, the maximum amount of damage that you can take is 5. This is really, really nice because a lot of teams are starting to become wider, starting to see smaller characters, all this other stuff. In some situations, obviously, there's like body modes that you count the heads, whatever else. In those situations, then obviously this card is a little less good, but it does a really good job of trying to take as little damage as possible from a lot of these little characters to make sure that you get to reset and then you can finish those characters off. Now we will talk about sequencing later on, so don't worry too much about that, but this card is really nice for trying to mitigate damage. The next two coming in here talking about mitigating damage is going to be Sabotaged Armaments, a blue battle icon, helps out on defense and obviously for the defense ability and Cerebros. It is a secret action. When one of your characters defends, you may scrap all the attacker's weapons. So it's going to be really nice to make sure that those weapons that are trying to come in at us are going to be able to get rid of. Again, we really want to mitigate damage as much as possible because our Fortress Maximus here does have very little health. We want to make sure that he doesn't just get completely finished off in one round. We really want to get 2 swings in with Fort Max. If we do that, we're going to find ourselves in a really good position. So obviously this card getting rid of any pesky grenade launchers or whatever else the case is going to be really nice. The next card coming in as a 2 of is going to be Espionage. Espionage is a white and a green battle icon card, again helping us for those previous effects. And then it also Fishable is going to be really, really nice. It says choose a battle icon color, then look at your opponent's hand and scrap a card from it that has an icon of the chosen color. This is mainly designed to be able to get any annoying cards out of your opponent's hand that you just watched them pick up with green battle icons or whatever else the case is. Maybe you're really going up against a horrible and you're afraid of a Camion crash or something going on with a quake or whatever else the case is. You know, you're going up against a Sky Shadow and you're trying to hit that Peace or Tyranny, whatever the case is. Espionage is just a really good counter card to try to get rid of a lot of those things so your opponent can't gain use from them. I run it in a lot of decks because of how versatile it really can be. The next two coming in here is going to be End Hostilities. Now we are running a decent amount of oranges in the list as well, so this card can benefit us, but it's also really designed to really hurt the opponent. First off, it is a blue battle icon helping us out for all those previous reasons. It is a secret action as well. It says when one of your characters defends, each orange either player flips this battle is in blue instead. So those really aggressive orange decks really kind of hurt Fort Max a lot because they're so aggressive and dealing so much damage. It is really, really hard to fight a heavy orange list. If you're going to be against the orange black list, you're going to be okay. And then if you're going to be against a blue list, you're going to find yourself in a really good position. Fort Max actually really loves blue decks because they're slower and he just really does so much direct damage with that ability. It's really, really nice. So again, to really be able to hurt those orange decks trying to get into us, and then obviously we get more defense because those oranges now become blues, which is really nice. The next two coming in here are going to be 1-ofs, 1 Brainstorm, and 1 Counter Espionage. Now, the Counter Espionage we'll talk about first. It is a black and a green battle icon card helping us out for the black with his ability, the green for the Master Metallicato, plus it's fishable. It does say name an action, then look at your opponent's hand, and each face down secret action, your opponent has to then scrap all of the cards of the chosen name. So if they have 2 in their hand, plus the face down card, boom, 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 you can hit all 3. Or if they have 2 just in their hand, 1 face down secret action plus 1 in their hand, whatever. You do get to get rid of all of those actions. Now this does not hit upgrades, obviously, only actions, so make sure you're very specific with that. But the card is really good to be able to hit if your opponent has Sabotage Armaments or any of those really good action cards like Direct Damage or, you know, that Peace Through Tyranny, something that you're trying to hit. It's just another way of being able to try to get these cards out of your opponent's hand. And then Brainstorm coming in here is a 1-of in the list blue battle icon, and that says you may play an action, then you may play another action. Now, as you can see, we have a pretty decent amount of actions here, and we have a lot of secret actions. We have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry. We have 8 secret actions on the list, so we make sure that we want to play a bunch. We always want to gain advantage. The turn that you can play like a Heroic and then a Master Metallicato, you're in a really good position to take some serious advantage of your opponent, which is really, really nice. So the Brainstorm in there is just to make sure that we don't lose any momentum going into the later portions of the game. Now, talking about upgrades, they are going to be very, very fun and very, very specific. The first one that we have coming in is going to be Acute Reflexes. Now this is a white battle icon helping us out with all that good stuff. However, it is a utility, which is really nice. I do fight for a little bit of utility slot in this list, so I'm not a big fan of that, but this one's been proving really, really well. It does say Focus 1, which is really good because we get to look at the top of our deck. If we don't like that card, boom, we get to just scrap it, or we can leave it on top. So it's really nice to make sure that we have those blues or the white battle icon for the defensive trigger in our alt mode, or if we're going in with like Cerebros and we want to make sure we proc that ability, it's going to really help us out. And then if we do flip a white battle icon, we do get +1 attack and +1 defense, which is really, really nice. The next three coming in here is going to be Sturdy Javelin. Now, Sturdy Javelin is a white battle icon card, helping us out for all that previous good stuff. It does say when you put this on a melee character and it attacks, it has +2 attack. We have no melee character, I believe. Oh, no, we do. Flameout is melee. Look at that. I totally knew what I was doing. And then if you put it on a ranged character and that ranged character attacks, you just scrap this card and do 2 damage to an enemy, which is the main reason why it is in the list, really helping us deal a lot of that direct damage. The one thing you really want to do with Fort Max, again, we'll talk about sequencing later on, is that you really want to make sure you are attacking the target you want and that you are KOing that target. This guy does an insane amount of damage to a main character, so if your opponent's playing a main character and some side characters, you're going to do really, really well against those kind of decks because you get to chew through the big character while constantly dealing damage to those small characters, so when you do go into them, hopefully they just get finished off by your damage abilities or even just some of the little small attacks that you do put out at the very, very end of the game, which is really nice. So Javelins, to be able to throw at those other characters is really good. The next three coming in here is going to be Escape Capsule. Now this is one of the cards that I was saying kind of fights for utility space here and does make things a little weird sometimes. It is going to be an orange and a black battle icon card. However, this is the go-to card utility for body mode characters. It says that when you deploy the upgrade character's head, you may put this and any other upgrades that were on that previous character onto the deployed character. So if we are in a situation where we happen to be like this, and then you KO my Fort Max, this character would come out and pick up all upgrades that were previously from the original character. If you do not have something like an Escape Capsule, when that bigger character goes down, you do lose all those upgrades. They do go to your scrap pile. So this is really nice to be able to carry over those kind of cards, which is really, really fun. And then obviously, once this character, Cerebros, goes down, you can do the same thing with your Flameout because this card itself just keeps carrying over. The next three coming in here is going to be Unflinching Courage. Now, Unflinching Courage is a super solid, really fun card in this list. Something that I didn't think that I'd be playing other than like kind of iffy in a few decks, but this one it's done really, really well. First off, it is a blue and a black battle icon card, so really nice for those battle icons that we're trying to hit. It can't be put on Decepticons, so it can be put on Autobots, and then does give us access to Bold 2, which is really nice. So if we have something like this on our Fort Max, we're looking at built-in Bold 3. We can play like fight for position. Now we're in for Bold 5. We get in for a lot of damage, even in something like a mix list, because we're trying to hit those battle icons. Maybe we'll only hit 1 or 2 or 3 oranges possible when it comes to giving so much bold, but it's really to make sure that we get the ability from that black and orange battle icon while we're in big man mode, and then Cerebros is getting his abilities when he is in the other mode. Next two coming in here is going to be Armed Hovercraft. Armed Hovercraft is a fantastic card, as always. Does so much direct damage. This card's been played heavily since since Wave 1, and will be continued to play for quite some time. So this card is really, really nice. It is a blue battle icon, help us out for defense, Cerebros, all that good jazz. When you put this on a ranged character, then you do get to 1 damage to each enemy. Cerebros is also a ranged character, which is really, really nice. And if you guys didn't notice anything here, is that Cerebros has the ability to bring back upgrades from scrap pile onto this. So if you happen to flip this ability, you can bring that Armed Hovercraft back from the scrap pile, play it, and boom, deal 1 damage to each opponent again, which is really, really nice. So you play this thing, have it fall off for whatever reason, or in the dream world where you have one that you played for the turn, you swing, you get this ability, and you get to play this to replace the other one, and boom, get to proc it again. There's some really, really fun stuff that you can do with some upgrades from the scrap pile. The next two coming in here is going to be Reflex Circuits. It says put on ranged characters only as a blue and a green battle icon, helping us out with all those previous abilities. It is green, obviously, so it's fishable. It is an armor. It says put on ranged characters. Boom, all 3 of our characters you just saw, Fort Max in both modes, plus Cerebros are all ranged. It does give us +1 base defense, and then if we're defending against a melee enemy, we get an additional +1 defense. Now, there's a few melee characters running around right now, and so you're going to be able to get that defense on a pretty regular basis, plus the majority of really good characters that are played are usually melee or ranged, so it's really nice to be able to kind of just get that +1 at minimum, and then +2 if you are defending up against something specific. And then the next 3 cards that I have coming in here are all going to be one-ofs. We'll talk about these two, and they're usually always paired together when it comes to my list. We have Bashing Shield and Enforcement Batons. Now, they're both orange-green battle icon cards, which is really nice. And then, obviously, Bashing Shields and Armor. It does give us +1 defense. Says when we put on a character, we get to scrap an enemy armor. This is just to be able to get rid of any force fields or anything really strange. Regeneration armor, whatever else the case is our opponent's running. Maybe even like a force field or a holomat is getting a lot more play recently. So this is a really nice card because the holomat can kind of hurt us as well. Obviously, if they can't take any damage, kind of brittle. And then Enforcement Batons, orange-green battle icon, giving us +1 on the attack because it is a weapon. When you put this on a character, you may scrap an enemy weapon. Now, the really fun part about a lot of these is just going to be Cerebros' ability. Really nice because this is every time we battle. So even on defense, you can proc this ability. So your opponent goes to attack us. They play like a grenade launcher, let's say, or whatever else the case is. We flip those battle icons. Boom, we bring back this Enforcement Batons, and we get rid of that weapon before allocation of damage, which is really, really nice. Same thing with the armed hovercrafts, escape capsules, key reflexes. We can bring back sturdy javelin, and the next turn we get to attack. We get to throw it, proc the ability, bring something else back. It is really, really nice to make sure that we are hitting all these abilities. Unflinching courage, obviously giving us the bold to really help us get this ability, because what we want to do is get to our big man, our one-of, and it's going to be Master Sword. Now, obviously, we've got to play this also just because it's got that Fort Max on the art, so we're going to be hitting some serious, serious stuff. Now, the sword is a blue battle icon card. It is obviously a weapon. Play this only to replace a weapon on a character that has no weapon slots. So obviously, if you have our Cerebros down and then this is our weapon on the character, then our weapon slot's full. Usually what we're going to be doing is something like with Unflinching Courage usually, or an Enforcement Batons for the most part. I've also done this with Armed Hovercraft. What I do is I get to attack here. This gives me access to quite a bit of bold. I have bold 2 here, bold 1 there, so that's 3, and then 5. So I usually will always hit this ability. It's very rare for me to not. And then we can bring this back from the scrap pile and replace our Unflinching Courage before the allocation of damage. And then now guess what? We get +4. We're in for a base 10, including our battle icons that we flipped. It also says, if an opponent's card would cause this to be scrapped, instead I may scrap a weapon from my hand instead. Again, we looked at it. We have javelins, unflinching courages, armed hovercrafts, enforcement batons. We have so many weapons in the list that we usually will be holding one in our hand to be able to easily chuck to make sure our Master Sword gets to stick around, which is really, really nice. And then in case the worst scenario, we don't have it in our hand, we lose it, boom, we just attack again and we try to get it back via this ability, as long as we play, obviously, a weapon. Even if it takes a couple turns, it can be really, really nice to do. And then obviously, finally, at the end, when we do get to our flame out, it's just a little bold 2 guy, and you better pray that he gets the job done. So this has been a really fun deck. You can really get quite a bit of different stuff going with him. I've seen an all-orange list. I've seen all-blue lists. I'm not a big fan of the all-blue, the all-orange list, only because, man, the defense is so necessary. The all-orange list that I've seen run Clobber, which gives us bold 3, so you really get an insane amount of damage when you are in the modes. However, you don't really get to get access to the white-blue side of this, which can be really annoying because I really think that this is important. Having the 2 armor here is really nice, but only having 17 essentially with no blues in the deck, it doesn't take much from your opponent to be able to just completely get rid of your character, so you're just really trying to make sure that you kind of run through them as fast as possible, maybe run some steamrolls. However, again, like I said, I'm just not a big fan of it. The heavy blue version is really nice. You get to run blue-white, so you're always just going to stay, for the most part, in this mode, and you always do get some really good access to this ability, and obviously you have so much defense. However, Pierce can be really brutal, so if you are against a Pierce matchup, you're kind of in the same boat. You just don't have that much health, which is why I'm really enjoying this mixed list to be able to really get some of this stuff down. Now, when it comes to talking about our sequencing, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of shuffle this deck up a little bit. But what we're always going to want to do is start off, obviously, by transforming and then going into our boom, punch them in the face mode. Now, usually what's going to happen is we're going to be able to flip an orange-black battle icon here, and we're going to be able to do some really cool stuff. But what we always want to do is go first. Now, you may think I'm crazy. You're like, oh man, why would you go first? Then your opponent gets to just wow out and hit you. And it's true that they absolutely do get to hit you. However, you get to hit the main target. Nothing would be worse than you having to go into like a bad character with your big attack, and then your opponent gets to reset, and then they get to go again, and you're really kind of just playing on the back foot, and you're always just dealing damage to the wrong characters. Your opponent's going to protect their main character, whatever, you know, most synergistic the character that they have, whatever the case is. So you always want to make sure that you get to go first, and you get to punch the character that you want, because it only usually takes 2 punches to take down the majority of characters in this game with Fort Max, which is why you really want to try to get 2 hits with the character. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we are going to try to do this all shuffled up and good jazz. Let's do like one more little go here. And then we'll do like an imaginary cuts from our opponent. Let's say that we get to go first, which is what we usually want to do. My hand here is looking pretty spicy, not going to lie. 2 upgrades, 2 actions. We're always going to find ourselves in a really good spot. And hostilities is super nice for a defense, for our second defense. Cute reflexes here too is really nice, because that essentially is going to give us like probably 4 or 5 defense, which is really good. We don't have much for obviously our turn 1 play, which is totally fine. Like I said, we are going to transform and we are going to swing. Now what it's going to do is we're going to get our 2 cards plus our bold. And then look at there, we get our white. So we definitely flipped a black-orange battle icon. We photon bomb our opponent, and we're also getting in for 10 damage on the character that we really want to hit, which is super, super nice. Now, I look to see if there's any things that I specifically want. If I'm going up against something that's got like a bunch of little characters, I'd probably chuck Metallicato here, because I really wouldn't need the extra plus damage. However, if I'm going up against something big and I really need to finish it on the next turn's punch, I will keep Metallicato. So we'll just let that go. We'll see what happens, and then obviously, boom, we have to flip back to this mode. Now our opponent's going to have to go to try to punch us for whatever reason. We're going to get our bold and our tough. Unfortunately, not getting it there, but we're getting 4 defense, which is good. Usually your opponent gets like 3 punches back into you, to be honest. We're going to get the proc there, which is really nice, so 1 damage to that attacker. We're still blocking there for 4, which is pretty good. And then let's say that our opponent's on like some 4 wide stuff. That's a huge amount of defense. 6 there. Unfortunately, didn't get the proc. It just kind of is what it is. Sometimes you don't really want to flood with the whites. This ability is nice to get, but it is more important to be able to get this side's mode, and then you want to be able to obviously have all the different colors so we can get to this mode particularly. So we get to survive. Great, we're in a really good spot. We get to draw here, see what's kind of going on. If we're not trying to punch anything big and we know we're going to finish it off, I would go with those 2 cards. If we're trying to finish something off specifically, then I would go with something like those 2 cards. If we need to hit wide teams, obviously go with like the hovercraft, whatever would work. We would obviously try to go in here for a big hit. So let's go like Metallicato, and then I would probably do reflexes so we can focus. And then we would get our swing here. Let's just check it out. We get to focus. I like the white. We're going to leave it on top. And then that gives us 2 for the white, and then we get the bold 1. Really, really good. We did get the orange black, so boom, we get the photon bomb. And then we're in for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage. So really, really ridiculously good amount of damage that we're getting in here on our opponent. Oh, sorry, 16, because we did flip a white battle icon, so we get that. So 16, I mean, like, that's a huge hit. And then we also get the 4 direct damage from the first swing. That got 2, and then the second damage. So, like, it's usually enough to take down a big character. And then obviously we would go down probably with the return. We'd obviously flip here. We'd most likely go down. When we do go down, we do get to come out untapped. So if our opponent happened to get like 1 character swing in here, and then boom, we're ready to go. Let's get to draw here. I'm going to go for fight for position, because I want to try to get a upgrade out of here. And then let's also go with like the armed hovercraft, which does 1 to everything. Boom, let's get our swing in here. We get our 2, we get our bold 2 from our head, our bold 1 from there, and then bold 2. Wow, we missed a white. That's actually kind of insane. From the fight for position, but we are in for 6, 7, 8, 9 with pretty good, 10, pretty good hit into like one of those smaller characters. That's really crazy that we actually missed on the white battle icon there. So you look at that. And then we get to go and crack back on defense. Tough 1, and that's why all of our whites were all in there. So we missed that too, which is kind of bad. But obviously you guys get to kind of see like a little bit of the power level scale and do a little bit of stuff like that. It's got a bunch of really fun things to do. I mean, with that armed hovercraft, had we hit the ability, would we have gotten our sword? Yep, we would have been able to hit our sword, another javelin. I mean, there's so many good things in there. So it's just a really fun deck. It's definitely more of a God, I don't want to say like a mindless deck. There's definitely some choices that you have to make sure that you do get to the longer part of the game, but I would say it's a very easy character to play with. There's really not a lot you have to really ponder about. It's just trying to get your flips, make sure you're getting your direct damage. You can have a lot of fun with this character, and I think he's really awesome, and I love the fact that he comes in every box, so you don't have to worry about trying to like chase him or buy like a separate product for the character. It does all come together. Like I said, it does come with the Focus 2 head, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It's really not bad. You can totally play it with that character. Like Focus 2 in that situation, for me, might have done really good rather than the Bolt 2, because I'd have been able to kind of like look and put, all those cards on top to make sure that they work. However, the Heroic Spotlight has been really, really awesome for me because I get those... we have those cards that allow us to stay alive, which is really, really important. Now, I know RJ from Wreck 'Em Rule was running force fields in the list, so he can always get them back with his ability. I thought that was really cool because you get to just keep recurring them. You can only use it twice, though, before obviously you go down. Another card that I really, really love that I'll give you guys some nice little spice for is going to be Crystal of Power. Crystal of Power is really nice. It occupies a weapon and an armor slot. It is what it is. It's totally fine. Obviously, we get the +3 attack and 2 defense, and it says when the upgraded character battles, you get to scrap this after the battle. So you get to scrap that after the battle, your opponent goes to attack, you flip these cards, boom, you get to bring it back, and then you get the +2 again, so you get to really recur this card and have a lot of fun with it, which I think is really nice, and it's a black battle icon card, so there's quite a bit of fun that you guys can have with that. Now, I really hope you guys did enjoy this deck profile video. I have a bunch of these coming to you guys with a bunch of decks. It's going to be really, really fun. My goal is to be doing these once a week for you guys. So if there's a character that you guys want to see or a team lineup you want to see, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.